Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another tactic review. This time we're looking at Regis Le Bris, the new Sunderland manager. Very little was known about him before he came to England. Certainly as a Sunderland fan, this is like I say, this is one a bit close to my heart. My team that I'm a season ticket holder of and watch kind of every week when I can. Yeah, so even kind of, obviously it's kind of well documented, I think, with Sunderland that in the summer we're looking for a new manager following the sacking of Tony Mowbray during last season. Dodds took over, coach at Sunderland. Didn't have the best of times. Sunderland finished the season kind of really bad form. Kind of obviously over the summer they're looking for a new head coach. Obviously linked with Will Still, Danny Roll from Sheffield. I think was numerous names chucked in the hat. And then out of nowhere, kind of Regis Le Bris kind of came up. Like I say, very little known about him. A few kind of mutterings around the fans. Like I say, even myself playing a football manager, I've never kind of heard from him. I do know, obviously, kind of a former footballer. Time at Rennes, so played at a fairly decent level. And then from obviously into management, I think, again, Rennes maybe in the early days, kind of Lorient B team before I think eventually managing Lorient, which I think he did fairly well in the League of One. I'm not sure exactly what happened in depth, although I know kind of maybe his players are sold from under him, as tends to happen when you overachieve with a club of that stature. And then I think they found themselves back in League 2. And I think that's obviously where they found themselves at Sunderland. So, like I say, not a lot known. I have heard kind of whisperings that he maybe lost the dressing room, maybe struggled to handle the kind of players with the bigger egos. I don't know if that's true at all. That's just kind of things I picked up on social media. But one thing I kind of think is kind of true. We got the best out of Lorient, and certainly for a season or two, overachieving. Seems to be a player that kind of does work well with kind of young squad, young talent, which fits directly into Sunderland's mould. So at this time of recording, Sunderland were on the back of a kind of a 4-game win streak going up the international break. Unfortunately, yesterday we did lose to Plymouth on the road. And I think that's probably one of the kind of perfect kind of ways I'm going to discuss his tactic. I've got him down as a 4-3-3 for Sunderland. Some people may disagree with that. It does at times maybe look like a 4-2-3-1 or even described as a 4-1-4-1. Very kind of attacking in phases, but we'll discuss that. Very similar to the one I've just done with West Brom. And like I said before in that video, I think it's these kind of young, kind of technically European managers that come in with this kind of gegenpress style, but kind of can go from a 4-2-3-1, a 4-1-4-1, and then defend in kind of almost like a 4-4-2, kind of mid-block, if you like. So we'll discuss that in depth. We'll go through the team, various positions and players, how I see them playing, and why I think it's more of a 4-3-3 than anything more aggressive. But we'll discuss that as we go through. So as you can see, tactic-wise, set up with a 4-3-3. I've actually set this up as you'd probably see them start in kind of real life. Certainly yesterday against Plymouth and the previous game away at Portsmouth. This is kind of like the initial setup. Football manager, obviously, we've made a few signings over the summer, some really kind of good, talented players, which kind of football manager wants to put in here directly. But I want to stick with the team that's been playing the past 4 or 5 games. I start at the back. Patterson, sweeper keeper on support. Does lack that kind of sweeper keeper, maybe his mentality at times. He doesn't seem confident with the ball at his feet. Overly doesn't really seem to command his area great deal as well, but great shot stopper, good keeper, still learning as they all are. But ahead of him, we have kind of Ballard and 09. Now I've got these ball playing defenders, and I think this is certainly the case this season, certainly with Ballard as well. I see him kind of come forward with the ball with that kind of space in front of him. Did it yesterday against kind of Plymouth as well. And 09, exactly the same. Really good with the ball at his feet. Formerly more of a midfielder, so very comfortable bringing that ball forward. Last season, I think you could have had him down as maybe like a libero style, where he was really driving forward at times, maybe a little bit too much. And I think he's been maybe kind of reined in a little bit this season. That in tandem, you would definitely see Trey Hume as an inverted kind of fullback. But obviously, as kind of 09 was kind of coming forward a lot more into midfield, Hume would kind of sit back in that defensive position and kind of make a back 3. Certainly a back 2 was certainly kind of coming up quite high as well. So, ball playing defender then, got them quite very simply, just as they come. Very simple, not even any tackle harder on there. Like I say, you don't really see him flying into challenges too much. they are kind of very cautious in the defence, holding players off, and hopefully make the right tackles. But we did give away a penalty yesterday with Ballard. That wasn't so much a tackle, just a kind of a ball got under his feet and made a kind of a bit of an error. But both ball playing defenders exactly the same. Moving on to the wing backs then. Now, I've got Hume as an inverted full back on defend. Last season, I would have definitely said this is his position. He, like I said before, 09 was used to kind of bomb on a little bit more in the midfield. Very aggressive when the ball at his feet. And Hume would kind of just sit back here and obviously play that kind of central defender role as well. You did see him kind of come up in the midfield as well on occasion, but very much a very defensive full back. This season, I think he's kind of creeping slightly into a kind of a, maybe, I don't know, inverted wing back role. Certainly slightly more aggressive. There has been times, a couple of occasions, yesterday as well, where he's overlapping Roberts on this right-hand side. I think the goal against Portsmouth, I think he was kind of at the byline, getting a cross in for a goal. So he is kind of, I'd say, maybe he's developing in more of a complete wing back, either on support or maybe defend. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he develops throughout the season. But he's certainly looking at a little bit more aggressive, offering that support, higher up the pitch, looking for the overlap as well. So maybe his inverted fullback is something I would say him at now, but I think there's definitely glimpses of something a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to watch him, how he develops over the season. But yeah, for the inverted wing back, I've just got to cross more often, tackle harder. Like I say, you do see him kind of up here in this midfield area, certainly last season as well, putting crosses in, supplying, like I say, that little bit more of a kind of a wider kind of but defensive full-back role. Moving over to the left, then, Dennis Serkin, when he's fit, for me, definitely one of the best left-backs in the league. Very much needed last season when we had Clark. Yeah, he has suffered injuries and been off for quite a while, but when he plays, he offers this kind of inverted winger on the left, kind of a little bit more freedom. Like I say, previously we had Clark before we sold him to Ipswich this summer. Now, without kind of Serkin, Clark would struggle at times. You'd have two defenders on him, and you'd see him kind of just really struggling to kind of sometimes make breaks, although something like 16 goal assists last season may suggest otherwise. But, you know, teams kind of sussed them out. And that would be the same with Mundell as well this season. Very similar player. Likes to cut inside on his right foot, drive at the defence. But with two defenders on him, that's very difficult. Now, what Serkin offers, again, I've got him across more often, tackle harder. But what he offers, again, is that overlap. All he has to do is kind of run up here, be aggressive, pull a defender away from the inverted winger, and that just allows kind of a one-on-one situation. Clark, who used to be really good at it especially, Mundell has shown glimpses of that this season, where you can take one defender on with relative ease, you know, majority of the time, cause problems, drive at the defence, either get a shot or look for kind of Mienda up front there, or like so Regan Bellingham from midfield. So, like I say, I've got him on as a complete wing back. He does a bit of everything, looks for the overlap, quite capable of coming in as well, looking for the underlap as well, offering support in that position as well. So, very much in my eyes, a complete wing back. If not, maybe a wing back on attack, very aggressive. But certainly, I think even yesterday, he looked a bit more defensive. I think when Hume was kind of suddenly kind of becoming a little bit more aggressive, you would see Serkin kind of just sitting around there in this role, acting there defensive, and again, taking on the role of a more defensive kind of fullback, if you like. Like I say, very, very adaptive, very kind of great utility player on that left-hand side. And for me, one of the best left-backs in the game. Very surprised Tottenham didn't activate that release clause that they had on him, but it's for certainly Sunderland's benefit. So that's the back line sorted. I think it's, yeah, pretty accurate, I think, with the exception of Hume. I think he's becoming a little bit more aggressive. So moving into this kind of pivot role, the deep line playmaker, you have Dan Neil. Got him on dribble less, close down more and tackle harder. He is very much your deep line playmaker. Sits in this back line. The oldest of the three in this midfield, kind of Rig at 17, Bellingham at 18, and Dan Neil at 22. So the kind of more experienced midfield, if you like. Yeah, it doesn't always get it right. Couple of silly kind of challenges and a bit of an attitude. Got him sent off at Portsmouth. Came back yesterday. Sorry, not Portsmouth. I think it was the game before that. Burnley, possibly. Yeah, Burnley, sorry. Missed the game at Portsmouth. Come back yesterday and, yeah, just sometimes lack that little bit of kind of bite and that little bit of, I don't know, sometimes composure, I think, for someone to operate this deep. I think Brown is kind of maybe a better player to have in this position at times, if not Bellingham, which they did at Portsmouth, and have Brown as a box-to-box type of player. But he's still learning. He's still young. But yeah, like I say, a great player, fantastic talent. But I always say, like, in this kind of role, you either have two options. You either have that kind of Busquets type of player who just gets the ball, acts as the pivot, releases the wide men, plays through balls into midfield. You know, he is the dictator of play. Or you have someone who's really an aggressive tackler, ball winning midfielder, get that ball back, then lay it off to the more, I don't know, technically gifted players ahead of him, or on the wings, on the flanks. But like you're saying, he's still learning. Really good, definitely a talent, unquestionably. But I just do think sometimes he's just missing that little bit of composure. But there we have it. He sits in midfield, and certainly for me, he's a deep line playmaker. Good pass to the ball when he's on it, when he's on his game. And good at really setting kind of moves away, whether that's kind of looking for balls to the kind of flanks here, Roberts, Mundle, or releasing kind of like Bellingham and Rig higher up the pitch. So moving on to the midfield then. Now, this is where the kind of 4-3-3 happens in my eyes. A lot of people may disagree. A lot of people kind of see kind of Rig up here, along with maybe Bellingham as well, in a kind of a two-pronged, like I say, a 4-1-4-1, or Brown at times as it was against Portsmouth away. But I see, certainly we start with Rig, I see him as a Mazzala, dribble more, shoot less often, close down more and tackle harder. And the reason I've gone for this is purely because you see him a lot dropping into these channels here, supporting Roberts. Now, Roberts, again, is a player that likes that little bit of support, although he's very technically gifted, very tricky. I think he does like that kind of give and go style of play. We saw it with when we had Diallo on loan. The link-up player, Diallo, would drop into these positions as well in the channels, you know, offering that little bit of support. Roberts just loved that kind of give and go. He'd give Diallo the ball, Diallo would give him it back, and then Roberts would just love to run at people with that ball played to his feet at a bit of pace. And I think Rig offers that now. Something that Roberts has been missing probably last season, definitely very, very quiet on that right-hand side. But now he has Rig, again, a greatly technically gifted player himself, giving him them options, giving that good give and go. Also kind of overlapping as well, dropping his position, allowing Roberts to maybe come into this here as well. So swapping roles, if you like. Yeah, really versatile. And like I say, I think we're certainly seeing the benefit of that. And as these kind of grow together over the season, yeah, I think you're going to see kind of these kind of developing a lot more, creating a lot more, Roberts kind of getting more assists, and if not, getting more goals as well. But like I say, that's why I definitely see kind of Rig as a Mazzala. You do see him a lot of the time on this right-hand side. Again, very similar to Bellingham. Last season, we did see him very high, playing striker almost, because we never really had one. Got a few goals out of that. But for me, his best position, and I think Le Bris has seen that as well this season, is as a kind of a defensive central midfielder. Certainly has the ability, the strength to kind of get up and down, the dribbling skills, the passing, to be a great box-to-box. And for me, he started this season absolutely fantastic. Definitely found his role, without question. Has all the attributes, kind of, you know, dribbling, he's got a bit of finishing, so you can kind of get him up outside that box and have a go, have a crack. Good acceleration, decent pace, good strength. I think he's been done a bit dirty. I think he has more strength than what Football Manager give him credit for. But I think heading into FM25, you may see upgrades for, I think, both Rig, and Bellingham, to be honest with you. I mean, kind of Rig has got a massive talent, 17 years old. Yeah, just fantastic player. Bellingham as well. All the attributes. And for a box-to-box, I've got him on dribble more, shoot less often, again, moving into the channels, close down more and tackle harder. Exactly the same. Drops into these kind of channels here, offering Mundle a bit of support. And again, you saw it yesterday, when the kind of cylinder attack, and you see kind of Bellingham head up this direction here, offering support to Mundle, and Rig coming up here. Hence the 4-1-4-1 in the end, on the attacking side of play. Moving on to the wings, self-explanatory, inverted wings on attack. I think we've known Roberts for a long time now, what he's like. Shoot less often, sit narrower, close down more and tackle harder. Sit narrower, maybe I've probably got that wrong. I think he does tend to hook this line a little bit. Looking for, like you say, those 1-2s off Rig. Yeah, looking for ball played under his feet so he can really attack the kind of defensive line. And again, exactly the same as Mundle, replacing Jack Clark this season. Yeah, I've got him shoot less often, sit narrower, close down more and tackle harder. Again, I probably have that wrong, the sit narrower. I think that if anything, they'll probably again hug this touchline. But exactly the same, looking to cut in, cause problems, look for the shot or a little bit more this season than we did last season. Looking for maybe some Mayenda as you advance forward. But like I say, for these two guys, very self-explanatory. Do as it does what it says in the tin. They're very technically, very direct. Like I say, got good dribbling, got that bit of flair, agility, acceleration as well. Same as Mundell, although we also have Isidore coming in there this season, who may kind of find himself in the later on, kind of in this position. Maybe he's taking off from Mundell, giving him a break. Still very young. And then Mayenda started the season really well. I think 5 goal assists so far this season. Yeah, great, good little player. Went on loan to Hibs last season. Came back in and kind of got himself a starting spot. Will he keep this going into the season? I'm not sure. Like I say, with the additions that Sunderland's made, Isidore game could maybe take this off him if he kind of, I don't know, drops off a little bit, looks a bit tired, a bit jaded. Again, still very young, 19 years of age. Going to be a massive talent if someone can develop in the right way. But I've got him simply as an advance forward. Advance forward on attack, close down more, tackle harder. So that's the kind of player positions. I think style-wise, I think it is, if you'd asked me last season, I'd have said we'd played a kind of a wide formation. I think this season we look a little bit more compact, a little bit more kind of shorter passing. We're not really relying on the wings as much, although they are undeniably outlets. Obviously, every opportunity we get, we are looking for Mundell and Roberts. But it's just as easy can be played through the middle now. I think the likes of Bellingham, operating that box-to-box role. Rig, with his technical ability at such a young age. Skill, linking up with Roberts. Like I say, Bellingham, linking up with Mundell. Dan Neil controlling things in that kind of defensive pivot. For me, it's looking a little bit more compact. Not as widespread. Although, to be fair, I think there could be a kind of an argument to say, yeah, we still do play fairly wide. You know, you have kind of Hume still look tight against the touchline. Although yesterday, I did notice he's operating very narrow and cutting in kind of up this kind of channels here. Again with Circum, doing exactly the same. So for me, it's probably a bit of a mix. I do like this kind of fairly narrow setup though, where everything's a little bit more compact. The kind of shorter passing. Not really kind of passing to space on when it does come to the wings. Or passing to space for kind of Mayenda up front. So that's kind of what I've gone for. But like you say, I think probably a mix of the two. Fairly wide to maybe narrow. Like you say, last season, I think it would have been a case of playing, you know, pretty much very wide. Everything was stretched out. Everything was revolved around Jack Clark, to be quite honest with you. We didn't have kind of much in the way of kind of options, to be perfectly honest. Job up front by himself looked isolated at times. But this season, loads more balance to the squad. Certainly that midfield is offering a lot more, certainly than they did last year. So yeah, we've got fairly narrow, passing to space, play out of defence, shorter passing. I think that's very much the kind of Sunderland way. It's quick, it's short this time. Everyone's kind of available for the pass. Again, last season, it would probably be more direct into space. Yeah, but no one really seemed to know where they should be. I think there was just a lack of cohesion, a lack of options at times as well. We give the ball away a lot. So certainly in kind of when we're in possession, that's why I say it's very direct. Everyone wants the ball now, this time. There's options around. So it's great to see, and certainly a little bit different to last season. Work ball in the box, I think that's definitely Sunderland style. Sometimes a little bit too much. Sometimes you just want to see that kind of shot from outside the box a bit more. But we do try to get it in the box and create kind of, I don't know, clear-cut chances, or more clear-cut chances. Again, run a defence, and all that comes certainly with the wings, kind of Mundell and your Roberts. As soon as they get the ball, they're looking to just drive at the defence. Mayenda is exactly the same. As soon as he gets the ball, he has that quickness, that speed, that technical ability to really run at defences. Yeah, it's great to see. Certainly not attacking third. So in transition then, counter press, counter. It is gegenpress. I think that's fairly kind of set in stone. Yeah, very much is kind of like say 4-1-4-1 in the attack. Certainly without the ball, the way they set up, they're looking to, depending on who they play, they're certainly looking to press straight away, lose the ball. They want to win that back quickly, and without a doubt, counter. You know, and any variation of formation where they're defending, as soon as they get that ball back, looking to get into space, use the kind of wide men, the pace, the midfielders. Job carrying that ball through. Chris Rig as well, with his technical ability, carrying the ball high up the field, looking for Roberts. So very, very much a counter-press counter game. Distribute to full-backs and centre-backs. We play off from the back, short kicks. Like I say, we're ball-playing defenders. We're going to carry that ball into midfield. And I think that kind of sums up the kind of transition. Without a doubt, it's very quick, very pacey. Looking to kind of really open up the opposition and kind of score goals out of possession then. So, again, I think this is very similar to West Brom. We do kind of play at a high press. Now, I have gone for a standard defensive line with step up more. I think when the phase plays right and Sunderland are dominating that kind of 4-1-4-1, if you like, you will see the kind of defence kind of up here. But when it comes to kind of possessions lost, you do see them kind of reverting back that standard defensive line. Very rarely do they get caught out with through balls, I think. And now I think they do seem kind of in sync. They're never too high up, or they are at the right times. But certainly against team, I mean, yesterday in the first half against Plymouth, maintained a high press, maintained a kind of a high defensive line. And the only options that kind of Plymouth had yesterday in the first half, certainly, was to kind of get it to the wings. I think it was like Whittaker on one side and I can't remember the guy on the other side there. But when the ball did come to them, they were very tricky. But by then, defence had dropped back, handled with them fairly easily in the first half. But certainly started off with more of a gegenpress, 4-1-4-1. Now, we got a goal early doors, I suppose, in the first half, penalty. And then since then, we did drop back to a mid-block, which I don't mind. It's like I say, it seems to be the kind of common theme of these European managers. And again, drop back to this in the first half. Invited Plymouth onto us as well, which is exactly what you want from a mid-block. And again, all they could really do was get to these wide men. In the first half, dealt with these. Now, the thing is with a mid-block, in my eyes, you have to have that pressing. So pressing much more often. You probably take that off in the mid-block. Certainly get stuck in. And you can probably take step up more off as well. You kind of play with a kind of a flat 4-4-2, which we'll probably see here. But yeah, so that's the way I think I see something change. 4-1-4-1 in attack. Certainly in the press as well, a gegenpress. Come off in midfield, putting the pressure on, but with the ability to drop for a mid-block with a kind of a standard defensive line. Like I say, very dynamic, can change team with team, does work when done right. Yesterday, it kind of went horribly wrong second half, which we'll discuss, but that's my kind of initial tactic, if you like. 4-3-3, gegenpress, dropping back to maybe like a 4-4-2 mid-block. And I think that's what I've created here. And I see it's something like that. I think, obviously, with this, we'll swap these over. So you do kind of see something like a flat 4-4-2. Like I say, in that mid-block. Standard defensive line. Probably, I mean, yesterday, what went wrong is we dropped to a 4-4-2 mid-block. And then what you saw was basically zero aggression. So instead of trigger pressing much more often in this mid-block, what you saw was just kind of trigger press less, give them more of the ball. Plymouth, they came out more aggressive. Looked at these guys on the wings. Whittaker suddenly became more prominent. And I'm sorry if I keep forgetting that guy on the left-hand side, but he's a very tricky player. More aggressive in midfield, winning them balls back. Sunderland weren't winning the second balls. Weren't kind of, so there were times launching counter-attacks and nothing good, which is what you should be doing from a mid-block. But times stopping in possession. Didn't really close them down enough. And ultimately we ended up losing 3-2. Like I say, a bit of a bad day at the office or a bad second half, but it all comes down for me for this press. You maintain the press in the mid-block, win that ball back, and look to launch that counter-attack. You see, if you are going to play a mid-block, you certainly wouldn't do it against good teams like don't disrespect to Plymouth, but against really highly technical teams, against Burnley, because they will just come into you, dominate you, play through balls, find them spaces and really hurt you. But with teams like Plymouth, you want to play that mid-block. You've got a goal up. You want them to come onto you, win that ball back, and you must be kind of decisive, strong in the press, aggressive in the press, good in the tackle, and then good in possession as well, to release that ball to your kind of wingers, launch them counter-attacks, everyone push forward. And it works really well against Portsmouth away after that first goal. But we just undone ourselves yesterday against Plymouth. And fair play to Plymouth, they came out more aggressive than us. And like I say, they weren't looking to play through the press. They were quite happy to get the ball outside the box and just test the goalkeeper. and twice. That resulted in a goal first time. Keeper made a great save, but Ballard ran in, scored no goal. But it was from a fantastic shot. And then to win a 3-2 at the end, again, a great kind of shot from outside the box. Keeper powered it, follow-up resulted in a goal. And sometimes that's all you need, you know, from a team like Plymouth. Like I say, no disrespect, but they really kind of came out more aggressive than we did in the press. And I think that's kind of ultimately what cost us. So that's me kind of set up, like I say, 4-3-3 in terms of aggressive 4-1-4-1, but dropping back to a 4-4-2 counter-attack mid-block. I think that kind of sums up the team as well. And like you say, looking at quickly ahead of the schedule, like you say, so far it's working really well. Probably a little bit too well, I think. Like I say, I wish we were scoring this amount of goals, but it's working really well in the match engine. Like I say, we'll have a look in a few highlights. And like I say, what I want to see is utilising the wide men. And then, like I say, I think they put Rooson up front as well. So, but I want to see the interchange, link-up play between the midfield and the wide men, and vice versa. So, I'm sure a few highlights. You say, let me know what you think. Like you say, we are sat top of the league here on 21 points after 7 games. Not quite worked out that way in real life, but yeah, what can you say? But like you say, we'll look at a few highlights, and then we might have a look at the kind of the data hub as well, and see how it all kind of playing out. So, I'm at the data hub here. Pick out a few little points just to kind of show you what I'm trying to achieve here with Sunderland. You can see a pass map from the last match, pretty much where you expect it, down on the right hand side. I'd like to see a bit more of a balance on this side as well, just to kind of reflect the use of both wings. But yeah, very much naturally looking for them kind of the wide men, if you like. And that's really without kind of giving any particular focus play left and right instructions. So fairly good to see. Passes attempted, well, from the kind of midfield area, which I think again is fairly exactly what I want to see from you, like your Dan Neil, your Job, and your Chrissy Rigg. So yeah, exactly what I want to see there. Pressing intensity, we're slightly in the kind of the green zone of low number of opposition passes per defensive action. So pressing really high, winning that ball back, and high defensive line position, which in that aggressive 4-3-3 or 4-1-4-1, again, is exactly where I want it to be. You see, scoring, high scoring, aggressive shooting. Again, maybe a little bit kind of generous compared to real life, but passing, lots of passes and accurate passing as well. We found ourselves in that is exactly what I want, and I think is fairly reflective of Sunderland as a whole. Yesterday, not so much second half, very sloppy, but hopefully they'll learn from that and come back playing the way they were before the international break. Possession lost them high up the pitch, and I think this is fairly reflective as well. We tend to be fairly good this season at getting the ball out of the back, getting it high up the pitch, where we are losing the more possession, rather than last season. There was some kind of horrific kind of play out from the back style of play. Kind of 09 didn't look kind of great on the ball. Ballard wasn't best either, but a lot different this season. A lot more options I can see in front of them. Midfielders dropping back, looking for the ball this time. Next to Dan Neil. You've got your Cirkin here, Hume, able to carry that ball a little bit further up as well, with a bit more confidence. So I think certainly changing in that front. And goal output, high scoring, impenetrable defence. Again, prior to yesterday, I would certainly have agreed with this. But yesterday, yeah, mistakes were made. Certainly with that kind of weak pressing in the mid block, which certainly needs to change. But like I say, what we'll do is we'll look at a few highlights here now, see what it looks like in the match engine. But like I say, not a bad 4-3-3. I don't think very aggressive. With the option of dropping to a mid block against maybe the bigger teams. But so far, it's looking so good. So we'll see here, Bennett with the ball down the kind of left hand side. Plays back out to Neil. You do see this quite often. Kind of the inverted wingers coming in, cutting the ball back. Probably a little bit too much at times when no one really unleashes a shot. But we see it's being played back here. Played across the 18-yard box. Down to the bar, takes a shot and scores. Love to see more of that. Taking a risk, when the ball does come to them. They do tend to hold on to the ball a little bit too much. You can see FM's got these kind of out position in a sense, not certainly how I have them playing. I think I've got the midfielders, certainly the wide inverted midfielders, a little bit too narrow. I think I should have opened them out, took the line a little bit more. But here we see Ballard chasing Ugbo down. Rigg comes with a challenge. That's that kind of press, intensive press that you do see in this 4-1-4-1. And like you see, you've got Isadora up there. You've got Rooson leading the line, normally Mienda. Roberts again making them runs here. Again, probably maybe a little bit too narrow. Ballard's obviously maybe he's a little bit too high as well. But if this has come from a free kick, I don't know. Probably explains why. Rick in the position where I'd expected to see him as well. Comes out to Roberts kind of on the wide, as you can see. Rig coming in. Rusin, again, that would be Mienda. Isidore over on the box as well. I'd probably expect to see probably Job. I think they've got Dan Neal in that position here. Heading this direction as well on the edge of the box. And Roberts tucks it away. Yeah, pretty much I would expect to see kind of in real life. And here we have Elise as well, left hand side. Playing that past to Isidore. Again, this would probably be Mundell. But exactly what I expect to see. Serkin would normally be in this position, but exact same style of ball. Isidore going to cut Neil off in support. Again, I would expect it to be Job. Into Rusin and away for a goal. Pretty much exactly how Sunderland play. Very, very similar. He will see a kind of how we defend. Isidore tracking back. Cross comes in, misses 2 defenders, and he score. Again, I could probably say that as well. Sunderland at times. Been really defensive solid, apart from yesterday. But yeah, that's just a little glimpse of kind of how it looks in game. I don't think it's too far away. I say wide men, maybe I've got them too narrow. I think they definitely hook the line a bit more than I've got them. But all in all, I think it's a fairly successful kind of setup. And hopefully Sunderland can go on and kind of get us promoted this season, playing this style of football. I'm excited to see what kind of Regis Le Bris can do this team. I think he's got the right mentality. A few mistakes yesterday, hopefully he can iron out. But long season. Let's see what we can do. So that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Like any suggestions you have, how you want to improve it, anything you want to see, any more you want to see me do. I think I've got Athletic Bilbao coming up after this. Other than that, like say, please drop a like, subscribe, get in the comments, let me know what you change, let me know what you think. Again, if you're a fellow Sunderland fan, I'm anywhere near, I'm a miles away, I've got it all wrong. Say, get in the comments, we'll have a discussion, get a kind of a group chat going, bit of kind of people's opinions. But like you say, please support the channel. It's growing kind of bit by bit, week by week. Over 100 subscribers now, which I would never thought would happen when I started this. So thank you all very much, and that's it from me. Bye for now.